Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Kayla. So today's video, we are gonna do something I have not done in a long time, and we are going to review a book, and we're gonna talk about a book that I have recently read. So the book that I have recently read is Dark Matter by Blake Crouch. I read this the last 2 days, and I finished it yesterday. And when I say this is probably the best book that I've read all year, this book blew me away. I have never thought so hard while reading a book, while also just being so obsessed with the storyline and so invested in the characters. Every single character played a huge part in this book, and I devoured it. In this book, we follow Jason, who is a former scientist turned college professor. And one night he is out getting drinks with a friend, and then he stops to get ice cream on the way home. And while he's on the way home, he gets kidnapped. He's taken by a man in a mask and taken to an abandoned warehouse where this man is asking him lots of personal questions, like what he calls his wife, does he use a nickname for his wife, what are his days like, things like that. So after all these questions, Jason is stripped down naked and drugged, and when Jason wakes up, he is in a lab type room, and a bunch of people are around him, and they're praising him and clapping for him and welcoming him back from his journey. And Jason has no idea what they're talking about. Soon after some investigating, Jason realizes that this is not his world, these are not his people, this is not his home. And so the book follows Jason trying to get back to his home, figuring out what's going on and where he is. This book is completely mind-bending, and it really shows you, the reader, and Jason what happens for the paths you didn't take in your life. So as I was reading towards the beginning of this book, I really felt confused, and I think that's kind of the point. You really don't understand what's going on, and then it transitions kind of into a scientific point of view, and you kind of get a lot of like science jargon about quantum physics, the multiverse, and things like that. And I feel like that is just so weird. And if you're a Marvel fan, you know everything about like a multiverse and what that has to offer. And so when you're reading this, you really have to kind of remember, if you are a Marvel fan, like what Marvel has brought to the table, because that you've visually seen and you can kind of replicate it in your brain to understand. And that's what I had to do. There was a portion kind of 200 pages in where things were happening, and I had to stop, and I was like, wait a minute, what? And while I was thinking about it, what was happening, I remembered something that happened in the TV show Loki, and remembering Loki, that gave me a better understanding about what was going on. And I feel weird comparing this to Marvel, because it is definitely not, like, Jason is not a superhero, but I feel like the easiest way for someone who is not a science person to understand this is to use Marvel as a reference. Very interesting to see Jason's perspective, kind of going through different universes, trying to get back to his own. And I feel like the reasoning behind why he wants to get back and why he is not just okay with the life that he is dumped into is very heartwarming. And it really gives that like perspective, like, would I do that in this situation? Would my partner do that in this situation? You really see like everything, you see everything through Jason's eyes, and you really struggle with him, and you are very determined for him to get back to his home, get back to his wife, get back to his son. And that's what I love. Literally, while I was reading it, I was picturing this movie, and I think it was originally in the works to be a movie. And then I read something online that said Apple picked it up for an Apple TV miniseries. Nothing is confirmed, but that's just what I read. So this, in my head, is easy to picture, and that's kind of why I think I enjoyed it a lot, was because I was given these mental images that really, I think, helped me drive through the story and help me connect better. Another thing I was really thinking about while reading this is, if you've seen the movie In Time with Justin Timberlake and Amanda Seyfried, they're very similar. And I know what you're thinking. Yeah, In Time is about like time and you're losing time and things like that. And that's very different. But the idea of being on the run in a way and trying to, like, two people on a journey and they're trying to get somewhere and they're trying to accomplish something. It really just felt like this was just a different version of In Time. And I loved that because I loved that movie. It's actually really hard to talk about this book without giving spoilers, because I feel like the whole idea of this book is like going into it and not knowing what to expect. So I want to be as in-depth as possible while also being as vague as possible, which that doesn't make sense, but it does in my head. Something about Blake Crouch that I really felt was a very strong point for him was that while writing this book, he actually like consulted a bunch of physicists on this to kind of get his ideas kind of to make sense in a actually scientific way. And I don't know, maybe he is, but I don't think Blake Crouch is a quantum physicist. And so bringing in people who know that is really nice to see, because he's actually getting people who understand this idea to help him and not just kind of trying to make it up on his own or just doing the best he can. He's actually going in and consulting with people who will help him actually make this correct. Bringing in another like side reference to pull this in, because for some reason I just like to connect these things to other things that I know. If you're familiar with the show Shameless, I believe it's season 4 when Lip goes to college for the first time and he's at college. I was reading this and I was like, this is what I would hand Lip Gallagher during that season, because I don't know if that's his major, but it's very prominent that Lip understands and is working on like quantum physics and stuff like that. There is a mention in this book about Schrodinger's cat, and there is a specific scene in Shameless where Lip and his friend are talking about Schrodinger's cat, and I think that's why I made the connection. If I had to recommend this to anybody, like specifically to them, I would hand this book to Lip Gallagher. I understand he's a fictional character, but this book is for him. So genre-wise, this is a sci-fi book, but it has a lot of suspense. It is more, just as it is a sci-fi book, it is also a love story. And I think that is why I like it so much. And it's not the kind of love story where it's like two people fall in love and they travel, they like go together. It's like already established love and getting back to your love and finding your right path and being with the people that are for you, that make you your most authentic self and bring you back to where you need to be. Said I recommended this for Lip, but I truly think that this book is for everybody. If you have read this book, I really want to know what your thoughts on it were in the comments, and I want everybody to read this book. This is going to be one of the top books I've read this year. I will never not speak highly of this book. I am so excited to get to Blake Crouch's other things. Blake Crouch wrote the Wayward Pines trilogy, which is also a show that was on Fox at some point. Blake Crouch's, I don't think it's his most recent, but I think the most recent that is known is his 2018-2019 book Recursion. I am looking forward to that. And Blake Crouch does not just write like sci-fi suspense things. I think Wayward Pines is like a crime novel series. So he's got some different things for you guys, and I am very excited to see what else Blake Crouch has to offer for us, and I cannot wait to dive into that. So that is all I have for you guys. I hope this video made sense. I really wanted to keep this spoiler free. Thank you so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed this video. If you liked it, give it a big like. If you want to see more of me, subscribe. If you want me to do more book reviews, I hope this was okay. But if you want me to do more, let me know. Maybe we'll make it like a monthly thing where I do 1 or 2. I don't know. But I can't wait to see you guys in my next video. I hope you're having a great day. Bye.